Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the latest Time for Wonderlow. I'm your host, Wonderlow. It has been a very, very, very beautiful day today. I hope you all had a chance to get outside and enjoy the sunshine. It's been warm, but it is, I think it's still spring here. I don't think we moved into summer just yet, but this Arkansas, we can have all seasons in one day. So, first things first, let me just give you a preview we're going to be talking about tonight. Most of you know, some of you know, that we have a huge problem with domestic violence in Arkansas. Actually, it's a huge problem everywhere. And we know that since the pandemic, you probably have more cases being reported than what should be reported before. So we have a young lady that's going to be on tonight. She's the executive director of an organization that focuses on helping women that have been victims of domestic violence. So she's going to be on with us here shortly. Let's see. Let's do our housekeeping and get all that out of the way. Happy birthday to you, June babies. I don't want to miss it because y'all know I forget down into the month too far. I'll forget. But happy birthday to you, June baby. Happy birthday to you today if your birthday is today. And happy birthday to the purple one. Y'all had a whole nother outfit picked out to wear tonight. But when I realized today was June 7th, I had to put it on. Can you see him? Can you see him? Look, wait, let me lean back. All right, y'all see him? I had to pull out the Purple Rain shirt because today is also Prince's birthday. And if you are a fan, you know this, and you've probably been celebrating all day. You've probably been listening to his music all day. I will be honest, I watched Purple Rain last night, and I'm just curious to know how many people watch Purple Rain with a lighter in their hand. So when he gets to the part where he's singing Purple Rain, you can, wear your light in there. Okay, I might be the only Prince nerd that does that. Anyway, I enjoyed the movie last night, and I've probably seen it. Let's just say I'm old enough to remember when it first hit the theaters, and I got in to see it then. So I've seen the big screen original version when it first came out, and I've watching it at least 5 times since then. So I think y'all know it came out in what? Let's see, had to have been 1985, maybe. Let me see, 10th grade. Graduated in 86. No, 1984. But it came like 1984, summer 1985, I think, one there. But either way, we made this trip to go to the theater to see him then. So, and most of you all know that he did not celebrate birthdays. There's a really interesting little interview he did where he explained why he didn't. He said he doesn't count the days, he doesn't count the hours, he doesn't count the time. So it makes him always feel or look 10 years younger than what he is. And believe it or not, I realized today he's actually 10 years older than I am. So if he were here today, he'd be 64 years old. So good looking little 64-year-old man if he was here. So anyway, happy birthday to all the other June babies. Happy birthday to you if your birthday is today. I hope that you had a wonderful day and have a big piece of cake on me. I'm not going to have any with you, but enjoy it anyway. As always, thank you all that tune in every week and watch the show. Thank you for liking my page and pages, and thank you for following and sharing the post. And before we get any deeper, I'm gonna go ahead and give you your self-care tip for this week. Now, remember I told you at the beginning of the month, if you read the post on my page, I said that in the ladies' lounge, then June was going to be self-care month, and we want to talk about some different things to just kind of keep us on track, keep us healthy, keep us going, keep us motivated. So today, I want to focus on a little bit of mental health. So the mental health or the self-care tip for today or this week is forgiveness. Now, I know somebody is wondering how in the world or what in the world does forgiveness have to do with self-care? A whole lot. Carrying grudges, carrying hurt feelings, anxiety, depression, all the stuff that comes from having a negative experience with a person damages your health. Now, forgiveness is a big word, not just in letters, but it actually is just really a big word, and it's a hard thing to do. You might not do it today, you might not even be able to do it tomorrow, but at some point, we all have to forgive if we want to be forgiven. There are some things, that we've deemed in this life to say those things are unforgivable. But if you are a believer, and I'm saying this from a Christian standpoint, if you're a believer, then you know that we have to forgive. Doesn't tell you to forget. I think for years I've heard people misquote scripture and say the Bible says forgive and forget. No, it doesn't. It says to forgive. because you want to be forgiven. It does not tell you to forget. You forget, that means that you're going to mess around and let the same thing happen to you again. But it does tell us to forgive. And I say that as a person who's had to practice what I'm preaching right now. There are some things that have happened to me in my life that I thought, man, I'll never forgive that person for. And then after so long, I'll be honest with you, I either forgot what I was mad about or realized later on in the grand scheme of things, it really was not that important. It hurt. My feelings were hurt at the time. I may have been physically hurt at the time. But then I had to weigh in the fact how much God has blessed me in spite of. How much God is blessing me anyway. How much He's still blessing me. Look at my family. So I can't, I got to a place in my life, and it took me a while. Trust me when I say it took me a while. I'm 54 years old, and I will be absolutely transparent with y'all. I just forgave somebody for something they did to me when I was, 5? I just got in a place spiritually and emotionally where I could let that go maybe about 3 years ago. So yeah, if you want a lesson in holding grudges, I can give you one because I'm good at it. But I had to come to a place where I had to realize I'm going to block my blessings. I'm making myself sick. I'm putting undue pressure or anxiety on somebody else because I'm still holding on to something that happened when I was a kid. Now, was the thing bad? Yes, it was. Do I still remember it? Of course I do. But have I put myself, let my mind and my spirit and my body be in a place where I had to let it go? Yeah. Because I realized that I was damaging me. And, you've always heard people say, forgive, forgive, forgive. Well, forgiveness is not for the other person. Because I'm going to tell you something. Half of the people, we're going to do it like this. Half of the people that you're mad at about something don't even know you're mad at them. The other 1/4 of them really don't care. And the other 1/4 of them, even if you did say something to them, they're not going to acknowledge it anyway. So just, I'm not going to say, well, just get over it. I hate somebody tell a person to get over something. You learn over time how to deal with something and how to live with it having happened. But getting over it is totally a totally different thing. Can you just let something go instantly? I think you can. I'll be honest, I haven't been able to do that. It took me some time. It took me some prayer. It took me some introspection to get to a point where I could let stuff go. So I'm just telling you our self-care tip for this week. And think of it however you need to think of it. Meditate on it, pray about it, go look up scripture. If you have a therapist that you talk to a therapist. Do what you need to do to make sure that at the end of the day, you're mentally and physically and spiritually in a good place. That is your self-care tip for this week. All right. Well, let's move on with the show. If you haven't already, go over to my page and like and follow. I'm going to post something. I'll post you a little picture or something when the show is over tonight about forgiveness, so you don't forget. I don't want you to forget that. So I'll post something a little bit later. But I'm going to go ahead, and my guest is backstage, and I'm going to introduce that young lady. And y'all, this lady, when I say it's the bomb, she the bomb. She the bomb. I don't know if she knows she the bomb, but she the bomb. This is Miss Vanessa Denson. Vanessa is the executive director of the Purple Butterfly House. And then say the other one, Brave Boy.
It's Brave Boy Safety Against Domestic Violence Crisis Center. It's basically a spinoff for the Purple Butterfly House, which is our domestic violence shelter we acquired last year. And we are so excited. We are just excited.
I know you are. I know that you have been working on it for a long time, and I'm glad that you were finally able to get it open. And congratulations on being featured on, what was that, a Memphis station, WREG?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yes. Congratulations on that.
WREG News Channel 3. That is my station. I was very blessed, and I was so excited, but I was also nervous. Corey, she is awesome. She makes you feel so relaxed and just makes you feel comfortable in your interview. So it was really nice. I really enjoyed it.
I was so, when you posted that, I was like, let me share. Hurry up, let me share it. Because I'm proud of you. I know how hard you worked, and I know you and I have known each other for a while now, and been working back and forth with different stuff. So I was just glad that you were able to be recognized for the work that you're doing for domestic violence victims in that part of the state. So tell everybody a little bit about your background, because you have, to me, I say you have a very interesting background, but I'm a law enforcement kind of person. But tell everybody about your background.
Um, I am a law enforcement officer. I was there for 15 years. I transitioned out to probation and parole, and I hope to retire from that soon. And I seen a lot of this domestic violence while I was an officer, especially when it came to women with their children, because they didn't have a place to go. They had to stay in that situation
Mm-hmm.
without any support from family, even support from law enforcement, support from individuals that tell them, well, why don't you just leave? It's not that easy to just leave, especially if you don't have a place to go. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited because our organization, the Purple Butterfly House, it serves 3 counties: Lee County, St. Francis County, and Phillips County. We are based out of Lee County, and we're the central location. So we have surrounding shelters around us. The Second Chance shelter, which is located in Wynn, and then you have Angels of Grace that's located in Phillips County. One thing about our organization, we can take them coming from across Memphis Bridge and Mississippi. So we don't just ostracize just one area. We bring them all from everywhere.
Okay. I didn't know about being able to go across state lines. I didn't know you were getting some from Mississippi and from Memphis.
Yes, we get a
Yes.
lot of people from Mississippi, especially when they
Mm-hmm.
come across that way. They have a lot of domestic issues, and they end up in Forest City, and
Mm-hmm.
also they end up from Memphis to Forest City. And we get a lot of calls from law enforcement in that area who need assistance in housing these individuals, especially the women with children. We right now don't serve men, but my goal is, and I pray that next year I'll have a facility that will be able to house men in domestic situations with their children.
Hmm. Talk about that a little bit, because that's I've had guests on before, and kind of we hit on it, but we normally focus on women. Talk a little bit about what's offered for men, because what folks don't get is domestic violence is not limited to just women. There are men that suffer from domestic violence incidences also.
Men suffer from domestic violence through mental anguish through their partners. We have a tendency, and it's females, and I'm not trying to ostracize or make anybody feel bad, but as a
Mhm.
female, we have a tendency to use our mouth to hurt a male. And the only time that we need them at a time is when they're getting paid or they can do something for them. So you're basically mentally challenging them, you're talking down to them, but yet you're not knowing that you're tearing them down inside. And that causes a lot of breakdown in marriages as well, because it's not just the female that is getting abused, it's the male as well, because they could be doing everything possible for that wife or that child, but they'll get verbally assaulted. You can't never do anything right, you always doing something wrong. I come in, I cook and I clean and this, and you always come in here complaining. You might not be complaining about anything. You can ask you one simple question that could trigger a person to lash out at you. Basically, how was your day? What do you mean, how's my day? Or is there anything I can get you? You could have been here earlier to get me do this. We have a we have a tendency to use this to hurt this. And when this hurts this, it takes a lot of mending, a lot
Mhm.
of soul searching to make that person feel good. And that's one thing about with men. Men have pride. So they don't want to be talked down to, but nor does a woman want to be talked down to.
Mhm.
So when we see domestic violence situations, we look at both ways. Law enforcement looks at it both ways. They always go and ask the woman, what did you do? No, you got to ask the man, what did he do as well? Because they both can contribute to the situation to make it become a domestic violence situation.
Mhm.
And then you actually acting out in front of your children as well, especially if you have children, because they see it. A male child will take that as a way of, okay, well, my dad he did this to my mom. Well, I can do this when I get older. Same thing as a female. A female can see their mom abusing or doing something that will mistreat a male, but they take that and they say, okay, this is what I'm going to do to get what I can. And that's domestic violence. I mean, you may not see your fist is not always the problem. It's our words, how we mentally taunt somebody, how we speak to them in a negative way where they become low in self-esteem. And that's what we're trying to do here at the Purple Butterfly House. We're trying to build the woman and the children's self-esteem back up, because we have women that come in. That's who we cater to. We cater to women with children, because that is where a lot of times most shelters, some shelters won't take certain age. We take all ages of women with their children, because you don't want, just because their child is 18 years old, he still is part of that family. So you have to basically make them feel wanted, make them feel like it's not their fault because they were in this situation. Now, you also want to do counseling with them, because we're a part of doing that as well. And that's one of the things I'm so excited about, because I've had calls and with individuals asking to do internships in our shelter. And I am so excited about that, because that will give a way of giving that person that extra mental stability that they need to talk to someone. They may not want to talk to us, the workers. They might want to talk to somebody that can really help them. We can also be doing it video Zoom, which another counselor is going to be doing, assisting with that. We're going to also assist them with legal services, which we have a partnership with Legal Aid, which I'm so excited about, because they were the one that called me about the situation. We're going to be doing a lot of different things in our shelter. We're going to be expanding a lot. We're going to be my goal is to have a speak out, maybe every Saturday afternoon. Women that have domestic issues or going through something in their household that they want to come out and speak, just get it off their chest. And a crying session. You feel better after you cry. Yep. And people don't realize that you feel better after you cry. You get it off your chest, because when you don't relieve that stress, it can lead to a heart attack. It can lead to a stroke. Trust me, it's not something that you want your child to experience when you're going through those different types of issues. And we also are trying to get a thing set up where we can have the children have a counseling session with an individual, so that they can get out what they're seeing, what happened between their mom and their dad, because children have a tendency to hold it in and won't let it go, because they're afraid to let their grown up know that that's what they're feeling. So they'll try to gear it off in a different way, lashing out in school, lashing out in public, lashing out at their siblings. These are the things we want to try to solve. And once we can get those things in our shelter established and up and growing better than what it is now, I'm excited, because there's so many things that you can do. It's just basically, it's hard to get it done when you don't have the funding, when you have to fill out grants, but you don't get the grants because either you're too small of a shelter, or you don't have enough experience, or you don't have that income base coming in to what they're looking for. And that's why I always used to say, okay, when individuals ask me for certain things, I always tell them, well, a monetary donation would do fine. But some people don't donate through monetary because they think it's fraud. No, we're not fraud. We're through a bank. You can actually go to our bank and make a deposit, or you can do it through a Cash App. Our organization has a lot of potential. It's just getting it off the ground successfully. And I think we're on our way for it. We are on our way.
Well, I know what you lead and doing all the work that you're doing. I'm not worried about it getting off the ground. You're going to fly. It's a butterfly for a reason. You're going to fly. Well, you never seen a butterfly stay on the ground. Butterflies fly. So you're going to get where you need to get. Now
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you hit on something about needing the help and the funding and whatever. How can people actually, if they want to donate, whether it be some of their time to come in and maybe do programs or call you and collaborate on a program, or if they want to do a monetary donation, how can people help you?
We have a it's called it's we have a web page, which is www.brayboy.org. This
Mm-hmm.
will show them basically what we do. Our donations are through First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas in Mariana, and I think they have one in Stuttgart. But we can go to the bank and you tell them that you would like to make a donation to Brave Boy Safety, and they can put it in there and make the donation of their choice. And what they do is they just tell us that they made a deposit to your account and they send a receipt to us. We have a Facebook page, which is very identifiable. It's Purple Butterfly, at Purple Butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to our page and see that. Our donations can be through Cash App, which is the $ um, domestic 67, and it's a purple butterfly. You can't miss it. And you can make donations through there. All you have to do is just say it's a donation or a gift. And we have people that have brought us these things this weekend, which I was so excited. I went to work and they called and said, we're going to be coming by and dropping off some things to your shelter. And I was telling them, well, you can't go to the shelter, but I can meet you somewhere after work and get these things. And they brought it, and they brought some things that were very useful. What we need right now is monetary donations. We need feminine products. We need diapers. We need canned goods. We need cleaning supplies. We can always use cleaning supplies because the shelter has to be sterilized. Um, we also need people to come out and volunteer. That would be great. You have to go through a background check because we have children there and
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to harm our little people and their families to make them uncomfortable. It's very confidentiality at our shelter. You have to sign a form of confidentiality when you enter there because what we have, they're sensitive to
Mm-hmm.
our clients that are there. They're there to heal. They're not there to be feeling fear. And that's what we're not trying to
Exactly.
do. We're trying to make them feel as comfortable as possible. You Other things that we're been looking for is we're trying to find a swing set for our kids because it's kind of hard for them to not. We have a big, huge backyard, but we're looking for a picnic table for them to go out and sit, or a swing set for them to go out there and sit and enjoy the sun in the back, because we really don't want them in the front on the porch because we don't want them to be exposed. So
Mm-hmm.
if they had something that was building for them to be outside, it would be great. We're working on it. It takes time. A lot of my funding comes from me out of my pocket personally, from my job that I work, because this is my passion. This is my goal. This is
Mm-hmm.
not something that I'm just doing fly by night. This is something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life here on earth. I'm here to make every victim become a survivor and to be able to survive mentally, physically, and stress free. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to do that. We've had several people come in and out of our shelter. We are we have to do a reporting, which is called a program called OSNEA. We had to purchase a program that was expensive to our organization, but it was needed because you have to report these stats to the state and let
Mm-hmm.
them know, and to let them know what are you doing at your shelter. These are also part of getting the grants as well. And by me being I call myself a newbie. By me being a newbie, I'm learning. I'm learning
Mm-hmm.
quick, and it's touch and go. But being in law enforcement and being an ex police officer, I know the rules, I know the regulations, and I kind of just keep going and building on what I have and setting it forth in my shelter, because I have a great group of women on my
Mm-hmm.
board. They're wonderful. I have a great group of women that work in my shelter now. We just asked the young lady to come and join our shelter, and she was excited. She's old. They're older women because they love to do this, and they were also in domestic violence shelters before helping. So when they found out about my shelter, immediately they were like, "Yes, we'd like to come and work in your shelter." Um, that's pretty much basically what it is. I can't stand to see a woman or a male or any
Mhm.
child being abused. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. That really hurts my soul. I feel like that's something that we're going to always deal with, domestic violence. We can't just sweep it under the rug, because a lot of people say, "Oh, it's not, it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen," until you hear about it happening on the TV, in the news. Woman was shot and killed due to a domestic violence situation, or a woman was shot from her boyfriend because basically he said, if I can't have you, nobody else will. We're seeing a lot of this lately in the news, and it's just amazing that
Mhm.
that we can prevent it by educating, and that's what we're doing. We we're going to be doing a lot more programs in the community, since COVID is not gone away, but we're going to be doing programs in the community to train
Mhm.
law enforcement on how the proper way to execute and talking to a victim, because you don't want to make them feel like a victim. You want to make them feel assured, comfortable.
Yeah.
You want to make them feel that you being in that uniform, I'm safe, instead of being, what did you do? What have been prevented? Or you stand over there. We got to watch how we talk to people,
Yeah.
especially when you're in law enforcement, because a lot of times we get, when I was an officer, we would get so many calls on law enforcement, and I would see my fellow coworkers. They would say, "Well, I wonder what she did." It's not about what she did; it's what
Wow.
he did as well. Because if
Mhm.
both of them have marks on them, you're gonna take them both down. But then you're gonna also explain to them, and then later on, let me tell you, when all of this is said and done, do you know that those cases are dropped because that female doesn't want to press charges after she started the charges process? They don't want to. Even the same thing with a male, and then it'll start back up again.
Mhm.
It's best for a young lady or a male to make sure that they keep a paper trail, because if anything happens to you, as long as you report it to the police department and let them know, even if it's just an incident report to show that you did come down there, and they
Mhm.
take pictures of you, something happens to you later, at least you have that paper trail that you tried to get assistance. So I tell them to also go make sure that they get a protective order.
Mhm.
Those are very important. But sometimes, as a female, they will go back. But it doesn't matter. You can always come back to that shelter. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter how many times you leave. You can always come back, because the shelter is not going to keep putting you out.
Mhm.
You have that right and choice, but you have to say to yourself, "I'm tired." We can't tell you. You have to say it. "I'm tired.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
want to do this anymore." Being a victim, I was a victim of sexual assault, and it was traumatic. But I never told anybody. I never told my family, never told anyone until just recently. And because I had fear,
Mhm.
because they had fear saying they're going to hurt your family, or they're going to hurt, they're going to do something to your mom or your dad, or your mom, whatever. These are what we are facing. Our kids are facing this.
Mhm.
Our kids are facing sexual assault from people that they know and people that they don't know. We have to open our eyes. Domestic violence does not just stop there. It starts with sexual assault, human sex trafficking. You have human sex trafficking everywhere, and people
Mhm.
don't realize that. We have them in the schools. You would never think they were in the schools. Yes, they were. They were in the schools. I used to work in the schools. They were in the schools. And it was
Wow.
just amazing. It was just amazing how little did our kids don't know what they're actually going through. Teen dating violence, that's horrible.
Mhm.
We think that, and that part is basically done by females. Females are taunting males. Yes,
Wow.
they. Yes, they are. They're belligerent. They're aggressive with their behavior, and males are more like to say, okay, if I put my hand on her, or if I push her away, I do this, I'm going to get charged because I'm a male. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. We got to educate. We got to educate our kids, educate the schools, educate the police departments, educate the civic leaders,
Mm-hmm.
churches. Get out there and let them know that domestic violence is real.
Yeah.
Not when we see it on TV, not when we hear about it in the news where somebody has got shot and killed over domestic violence issue. It's serious. It was an incident that occurred, and it really hurt my soul because this woman, she got killed,
Mm-hmm.
her and her children, over a domestic violence situation. And it didn't make any sense. She kept going back, but she went back because she had no place to go. Well, as of today, you have a place to go, the Purple Butterfly House. You have a place to lay your head in peace and tranquility. You have safety there. You don't have to worry about anybody saying anything to you or doing anything to you. It's completely an environment of peace.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder, I was just reading a book and I'm going to tell you about it. And I think that I'm going to get these books for our individuals that are in our shelter that come in. It's
Mm-hmm.
called, the book is called Joy Comes in the Morning, 90
Okay.
Days Devotional. It was written by one of my friends. Her name is Kim Davison. The book is by Dr. Vernicia Blackwell. It's called Joy Comes in the Morning, 90 Days Devotional. When I say I picked up that, it had issues of domestic violence. It had issues with men in it with domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
It was so inspirational. And each story is short,
Okay.
but you will go and highlight. I was highlighting. I had downloaded. You can get it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the book is like only $2.99, but
Wow.
it was worth every bit. So if someone could get that book and read it, give it to somebody. Let them know. But when I'm saying this woman, her name is Kim Davis, and she is a awesome writer.
Uh-huh.
And she has other books that are coming out soon. When I read it, I was just at odds. Like I said yesterday, I couldn't put it down. And I feel like this book should be in every domestic violence shelter because it will give that woman that comes in their packet a sense of relief, a spiritual sense,
Mm-hmm.
letting them know that they're not by themselves and that they could open up and write things in there and just give an idea of what they feel. This book it even touched me
Mm-hmm.
because one of the situations that I read was about a story of a young lady who was sexually assaulted by her dad, who was sexually assaulted by her uncle, who was sexually assaulted by other men in school when she was younger. Got pregnant at an early age. It was so amazing. And I was like, wow.
Hmm.
If
I
you
can
had,
see. Go ahead.
yeah, I know.
I can see how that would. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to read that book. I mean, I'm telling you, it's called Joy Comes in the Morning, 90-Day Devotional. It's
Okay. I
on
got it
Amazon.
down so I can find it.
Yes, it is. It's awesome. Her name is Kim Davison, but it's the book is like Dr. Vanessa Blackwell. When I say that it gives you something to look forward to, it gives you something to look forward to that you're not alone. When I say there was a man in there that was going through domestic issues, I
Mhm.
was shocked because you think it'd be all about women. No, it was diverse, and I say it was awesome.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm trying to look it up so I can post some
I
info.
have a picture of it on my phone. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up on my tablet so you can see it. The cover.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Let's see, Dr. Vernicia.
There it is.
All right. Okay.
And when I say it's an awesome book, it's an awesome book. Um, I think, like I said, every domestic violence shelter should have a copy of it, or they should be giving them to their individuals that come in, because it gives them a great idea of what they're not alone. And for an individual to set out and write something like this and give a self-proclaimed example of what happened to them in their lives,
Mm-hmm.
that speaks highly.
Okay, I'm finding it, and I'm gonna post a link to it.
It's on Amazon.
Okay, honey, I'm gonna definitely go and find it, and when I make the post for tonight, I'm gonna include that in there.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and also, are you going to post this? Because I would love to post this on my page so that
Yes,
they'll
ma'am.
know about the different programs that you offer on your lounge. I'm going to put it on the big page, and I'm also going to put it on my web page, because
Okay.
you have a lot of, I may not be on there all the time, but when I say I am on there, I'm like looking, I'm like, wow, she is just doing it. You are doing it. And I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so
I
much.
am so proud,
You
especially
make
your
me
cooking.
cry. Stop. I need my eyes water.
Well, you're doing an awesome job, and I'm glad that you are actually featuring these stories that are actually need to be out there in the public, to let everybody know what we are going through as women and as men.
Yeah.
Just don't understand that there's so much stuff that you have to go through in a day.
Yeah.
But I was always told, take a few moments to yourself.
Yes, Lord.
And get your mind together, get your spirit together, get your life together, because your job is a job, but your life is more important.
It's your life. Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason why this month I designated as our self-care month. I think it had to have been something that happened last month, because I'm forgetting it's just the first whole week of this month. This month. And I was sitting there thinking about it. I said, okay, we talk about self-care a lot. Because matter of fact, I did one show. I did a 2-part show. I did one part on resetting your goals and regrouping, and then I did one on resetting your goals and regrouping to make sure that you are healthy to achieve your health goals. And in talking to my guest was Nora Ayers for that one. And in talking to her, both of us were talking about we have conditions, because I don't say we sick, we got conditions that we have to take extra time for self-care. And I noticed that all the women I know, I don't know a woman who doesn't have more than one job. Yes. Every woman I know literally has at least up to 3, sometimes more than that. And it's either they have a full-time job, they have side jobs, then you're a wife, then you're a mother, then you're doing some of it.
Exactly.
And in the midst of all of that, you are everything to everybody around you, and your cup is empty. So at some point, we have to learn how to stop, slow down, say no. And I told you, I'm learning how to bag out. I'm learning how to bag up from stuff, because I can remember a time where I worked a full-time job, a part-time job, with another part-time job on the side, but with a part-time job on the side of my part-time job. And in the midst of that, I'm volunteering over here. And I can remember one night laying in the bed, and I just started shaking. And I don't know why I was shaking. And I realized it was just, I was so stressed out, because I was spreading myself way too thin. So we know that when you spread yourself too thin, you stress yourself out, you create more anxiety, you break your body down, and eventually you're going to get sick, because your body was not designed to do all those things. And you were not designed to play 100 different roles for 1,000 people. You just weren't designed for that. So, just like you're saying about, we have to be cognizant of what's going on around us. We know, and I had a lady on from PATH, it's been a couple of weeks ago now, but we talked about human trafficking. We talked about, particularly human trafficking with teenagers and being on the internet. That's what we were focusing on. And we were talking about what it looks like in schools. I watch a lot of true crime. I'm one of them people. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of true crime stories. And one of the ones I was watching probably about 2 or 3 nights ago was how this little girl was kidnapped. And I think she was maybe about 8 years old. Her mom, they were in the playground, and she wasted ice cream on her shirt. Her brother told her to go to the bathroom. For one, she went to the bathroom by herself, which to me is a huge no-no. No child is ever to go to a bathroom alone, and it's a public bathroom at that. And the little girl, or the I call them the snatchers, they're watching. So they don't go in and grab her. They sent another kid in, and the little girl pretended to cry. And of course, the little girl turns around and asks her, are you okay? And she said, I lost my dog. And she offers to, can I help you find it? She leads her straight outside to the proverbial white van, the white cargo van, and tells her, oh, I think I hear it. I see it. It's under the van. And when the little girl bends down, they snatched her into the van. And hence begins her life as being trafficked. And I watched as much as I could handle. Sometimes I cannot handle when I have to turn because I get emotional about stuff, and it's just too much. But I sat there and I thought about how many young girls and boys, because here's the thing, we worry about things happening to our girls, stuff happen to boys too.
Exactly. You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Yeah, boys are trafficked just like girls are. And I think, I did a show not too long ago about missing children in Arkansas. And it just was so curious to me that if you look at where they're missing from, it's all on major thoroughfares and all on major freeways. And it's fairly close to freeways where they were last seen. And in my mind, I'm going that truly all of them couldn't have been grabbed, the way I'm thinking.
Yes, truck stops.
Exactly. What part did that play in it, though? So I look at a lot of different things. I look at a lot of different news reports. I read a lot of different stuff online. I read books about different things, just so you know. I have 6 grandkids, and part of our conversation when we spend our weekends together is, here's what you don't do. You don't, just because somebody tell you they look for their lost dog, tell them you so sorry, but keep moving. First of all, we don't allow them to go anywhere by themselves. They cannot go to a bathroom by themselves. I'm so sorry, ladies. If you see me with one of my grandsons, they all under the age of 10, they going in the bathroom, in the women's bathroom, and I'm going to stand at the door. But no, ma'am, no, sir, am I going to let them go into the men's bathroom alone? It doesn't take a long. Exactly. It takes a hot 5 seconds for something to go dead wrong. And I'm sorry, but I am that one that will bust in that bathroom and tear everything to pieces. So I'm, yes, I know it's a bunch of us do that, but I'm just saying we don't allow them to go, away from us. They're not allowed to go out of our sight. If I'm sitting someplace, I'm not that, well, going over there and play and I'm on my phone and then look up all of a sudden, well, where's so-and-so? No. If you playing, you right in front of me. And I'll make sure that I can grab you before somebody else can grab you. So it's so many things I think about, when we talk about trafficking. Now, on the other side of that, we're talking about domestic violence. And the other lady said the same thing that you're saying. We know that the statistics went through the roof. Now, we're still in the pandemic mode, whether folks know it or not, just because we ain't wearing masks every day and all day. We're still in pandemic mode. But we know that the numbers have risen dramatically since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, two things can play into that. Number one, maybe it's more reported now than it was, and it's been happening the whole time. Or it actually did start during the pandemic. Folks are stressed out about not having jobs. If you look at the moratorium on evictions, people are losing their homes. No money. All these things are going wrong, and it creates animosity, it creates anxiety, and you know as well as I do, people getting angry. And who you gonna take it out on? Those closest to you. So child abuse has gone up, sexual abuse has gone up, domestic violence has gone up, and everybody is not gonna come and say, you know what, I got beat up last night. You're gonna see people come to work with shades on, or see people out covered up. It's 100-degree weather, but she got on a turtleneck. It's stuff that you'll see. You won't, in all these cases, are not going to be something happening. The person might just be cold. But at the same time, you see a lot of things. Some stuff we know to look for, signs we know to look for, and a lot of it is, well, that person's just acting odd. It's a reason sometimes people are acting odd. We taught our kids when they were in school, and even now, be careful how you treat people because you don't know what they're going through at home. So you have a lot of folks right now that are lashing out because They getting the crap beat out of them at home, y'all. We don't know that because we're not in the house with them. Kids, adults, men and women.
I,
So,
I can I can agree with that because when we grew up, it was more freely to whoop your child.
mm-hmm,
But then it got to be, I've seen situations where I've gone into where kids were beat with an extension cord, or I mean, or just because they got a glass of water, or they ask a question. And and women, this is what gets me too. Young ladies, do not leave your child with a person that you just met.
amen, amen.
Because if you're dating that person, you don't know what that person's going to do to your child. I
Mm-hmm,
have seen time and time again where kids, women leave their kids with that companion, and the companion beats that child.
mm-hmm,
Or and they get, and then you come home and you're charged too, because
mm-hmm.
you left that person with that child unattended. You have to know what you are getting into. It's basically, you're going to have to do a background check basically for things that are going on nowadays in the community, because a lot of our women are low self-esteem and they just want someone to be in their life. You can't just get anyone, especially if you have kids, especially if you have girls, especially if you have boys. You have men that molest boys, and
Yep.
it is horrible because that child psychological mind has been just blown away because they have all of that, and they don't know how to tell. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to tell that. They don't know how to tell if they were molested by that person, their mom's companion. They don't
That's
know how that girlfriend or their boyfriend, they start a relationship with them, and you're dating them at the same time as well. But that's kept a secret because she feels like that's the way to get love. Well, if he
mm-hmm.
loves mommy that way, he'll love me that way.
Yep.
We got to remember, it is so important who you have around your child, how you talk to your child, and what you portray to your child. You can't bring everybody around your child, even your friends.
That's
You can't bring them around your child. You have to be cautious. If you like me, Wanda, I'm very protective. I was very protective of when I was on duty, and
mm-hmm.
I would see how the women would be arguing with the males, and I'd be like, "Come on, kids, so just can
Mm-hmm.
you have them go in the house? They done heard everything before. They done seen how they had treated me. Well, you don't want to do that in front of them now. You
No.
know, the pandemic has caused a lot of stress on us, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of, and it's not gonna get no better because now we're coming out with so many different other diseases that are coming out,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
we need to realize that if you help just one,
Mm-hmm.
that one person will go and tell that you help them
That's true.
and do them. Just because they leave, like I said, that don't mean they can't come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're gonna be several times they're gonna come back to your shelter,
That's
and you
true.
just open your door and say, okay, let's get your stuff in your bag. Get your bags, put them in. Let's go ahead and put them in here again. That's why I wish that, I got a small shelter, and like I said, my goal is to get a bigger one for
Mm-hmm.
men, and I'm going to get another one. We have so much property. I wish that I could get another building placed on my property where we can
Mm-hmm.
house more women with children. I
Yeah.
wish that we had, what you call, a tiny house,
Mm-hmm.
a tiny
Mm-hmm.
house on our property so that we can get another family in there. We can
Mm-hmm.
house two families with children, but it's so many calls that we're getting. We're getting calls practically every day
Mm-hmm.
with women that are being beat,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't do anything but refer them to other shelters. And then we have such a small amount of shelters in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said, if you're out there, you need to support your local shelter because your shelter is the one that is going to save somebody's life one day.
Yeah.
It might save your life one day.
Yeah.
So
Nick,
I
you
think
hit on something. I want you to go over something real quick. We and you said this way back. Now we talk about, and we always ask the question: if she's being beaten or abused or whatever, why didn't she leave? Talk about how a woman should leave. When you picked when you should leave, because we know statistically the most dangerous time is when you're trying to leave the abuser. So kind of talk about an exit plan for women.
women can have an exit plan. You can download an exit plan. Domestic Peace has them
Mm-hmm.
online. Basically, if you want to get away from that individual, some people leave while that individual is at work. Sometimes they call a relative and give a password if they're in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Call on the phone. They say, hey, they might give them a color code, color blue or color red or whatever password they may make up to exit. Once you exit, you want to have all your documentation in order. You want to have your birth certificates, your children's medicines, your meds, all the things that are important to you, vaccination cards, medical cards, insurance cards. Have those things put aside and put up.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a bag packed, put it in a safe place. I know that sometimes we live in a small place, but try to put it in a safe place for that individual, so if you do leave, you can leave quickly. And then sometimes you can't leave with a bag. Just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you something. If you call law enforcement's going to come and you're going to tell them, I am trying to leave with my kids. I am in a domestic violence situation. He beat me. He's been beating me. I was just scared to say anything. If you tell them that you're scared, they're going to believe you.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to believe you. And you go down there and file that report. But you can always remember that most police departments can put you in for one night. Our shelter right now, when we're full, we were given some funding where we can put them in emergency shelter for one night to get away. And that's what I was so excited about, because when I wrote that grant, individuals just need one day and one night away where they can contact their relatives, feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And the police departments usually transport them. I've had Lee County Sheriff's Department's number one big thing about, they'll call me and they'll transport them to the hotel. I meet them. We take care of the bill right then and there. We get them. We fill out a file on them. Make sure that anything we can kind of help you contact anyone. These are important. If you leave with the clothes on your back, that's fine. But start doing your exit plan. Start getting your most important documentation in order. You may not be able to leave with it. You might have to get out in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
But just remember, you getting out. You
Yeah.
becoming that survivor. You're not going to become that victim.
Mm-hmm.
And most adults, females, you got kids. Let me tell you something. You are like a mama bear. You gonna tear that person cat raggedy to get away from them trying to hurt your children.
Mm-hmm.
We are women are number one protectors of their kids, and we are not going to let anything happen to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, if to your kids, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you need to leave, leave. Don't feel ashamed, because there's funding out there.
Yeah.
There's funding out there. There's people out there that can help you.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that can give you legal aid, will help you. Domestic violence shelters can help you.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. You can call us on the phone if you just need to just talk. We have a number, 870-636-2781. I have so many people calling and just wanting to just talk. And
Mm-hmm.
then they'll say, I got to get off because he's coming. Okay, well, call
Wow.
me when you get a chance again. And they'll call. And I've had the victim's person that's abusing them call. Who is this?
Wow.
Who are you trying to call? This is Miss Brayboy. Well, what's your what's your business calling my phone? Wrong number. Because you don't want that person
Mm-hmm.
to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that you can do.
Okay.
So Excuse me.
Catch your breath. Real quick, I was trying to write a post to say some of the things that you want, and I put down feminine supplies, diapers, cleaning supplies. You want a swing set or playground toys, picnic table, lawn chairs. What's some of the other things that we can I can post and let folks know you might need help with?
We need help with canned goods. We don't need the produce. We need canned goods so we can, because they're non-perishable. We can always give it, to victims that have come into our shelter. Excuse me, and find them a place to stay. That's one of the things we do too at our shelter. We find them a place to stay. Wanda, we have relocated so many women.
Wow.
Into apartments. I am just so excited. So we will help them get the furnishings that they need to start all over. So don't think just because you don't have a job, that you don't have any money, that nobody doesn't care about you. We do. Every shelter cares about you. They will help you get on your feet again. So like I said, we need diapers, cleaning supplies. We need canned goods. We need things for we need linen. Twin bed linen for the bunk beds. We need another bunk bed. It's so many things that we need for our shelter, but we're gradually trying to get it, but we're not. Everything that you donate is tax deductible. We do give you a form so that you can use it towards your taxes. Because we are a 501c3. We're about the business.
I'm just typing everything you're saying.
Well. And I see a lot of people on your private chat asking questions. And saying devotionals are so inspirational. It is. Devotionals are very inspirational.
Okay, I just put a sort of a long post over there, but it was all the items that we were talking about. That's okay, there we are. I just said that they can donate. Because I want to make sure you get what you need. So we look, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Well, you're right. They can also, like I said, they can send monetary donations through our Cash App, which is the $ domestic violence, the domestic. I can pull it up right now because see, I always get mixed up, and they be like, "Well, where do you go? What do you do?" $. It's $ domestic violence 67, and it's a purple butterfly. And I have to share this story one more time. The reason why it's a purple butterfly is because of my grandmother. My grandmother loved butterflies. And to this day, Wonder, every time and I'm not joking, every time when I do something that is positive in the community, I see a butterfly floating around me. Wow. Even when we did the News Channel 3 interview, I was butterflies. And I was like, wow. So that lets me know that I'm doing something good.
Grandma letting you know you all right, girl.
Yes. But is there anything that we can do for the community? Ask them. Send us a chat. You can go into our Facebook page and send a private chat that says what we can do for you. I mean, even if it's just something like doing a program, doing a seminar at a church, at a community center.
Definitely some training would be warranted. Now, Go ahead.
You can give them my email address too.
Okay, what's your email?
It's stopviolence67 at gmail.com. They can send me a email telling me what can I do for how to help them, what resources I can send them in their area, because they might not be close to us.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. We on our hour, so girl, you gave us the story. You told us what.
No, thank you for inviting me, because you know what?
Mhm.
I have been, this must be, you know how you say there's a purpose?
Yeah.
There's a purpose in life. I think I'm here for a purpose.
Yeah.
I used to have low self esteem, and now I feel like I have a purpose. I have a purpose in life to help women and children, anyone in the community, elderly people, just whatever I can do to spread some joy and some happiness and also some safety,
Mm-hmm.
especially with our shelter. Safety.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I tell you this, I appreciate everything that you're doing.
No.
And I know that there are women in that area. There are women across the state. There are women that are going to watch this show. There are men that are going to watch this show. And just from the bottom of all of our hearts, all of my viewers and everybody else, we just thank you for what you're doing. It takes a lot of heart. It takes a lot of grace. It takes a lot of mercy. It takes a lot of love to put yourself in a situation where you're dealing with something that volatile. And like I said, I know you're an ex-police officer, so I always called you a tough girl anyway. But I just feel like, you have to have a big heart to care enough for people to do what you're doing. So we love you
I,
and thank you so much. We appreciate all the work that you are doing. And the ladies that are working with you at the Purple Butterfly House, tell them kudos to them also, because I know that you have a good team behind you. So you got
oh,
some, hey, y'all doing it.
I'm
Y'all,
waiting for you to come along now. I'm waiting for you to do it.
yes, ma'am, I'm coming. Now, seriously, I am working on something, and I'll be calling you because it's something that you kind of somebody else sparked it in me, then you brought it back to life a couple of months ago. So it's something that I've been wanting to do for the last couple of years, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and start working on it. But I'll be calling, and we'll get together and we'll talk. I had to meet you halfway.
Oh, okay. You gonna bring a pie? Some of that Mars?
Which one you want? What you want? Yeah, no, seriously, what do you want? I'll bring it with me when I come.
I
Just
would
let me
like
know.
you know what? I would like an apple pie.
You want an apple pie?
Yeah, I want
Okay.
apple pie.
All right.
Apple pie. I mean,
All
you
right.
have. Oh, when is your next show on?
Oh,
Your next show for moms.
Oh,
You know.
Melrose Cafe will be on Thursday.
Yes.
Now, what
Okay.
am I cooking? I'm trying to watch my carbs, so it'll be a
Okay.
no carb meal, but it'll be good.
Okay.
And I'll
I
do the
just
after that probably tonight. But yeah, I'll be back on at Thursday at 7 p.m. and I'll be Melrose Cafe that night. I have too many
please.
personalities. This is crazy.
No, please, and send that link so I can put it on my pages because
Yeah.
I want everybody to see this. You're relaxing, and your cooking shows are just amazing.
Oh,
So,
stop it. You're trying to make my eyes leak.
no, I'm not. No, I am not. I'm just proud of you. I'm very
Thank
proud of
you.
you.
We're proud of each other. Thank you. I appreciate that, darling. All right. Well, let me see, do you have any words of wisdom you want to leave us with tonight?
Remember that there's always somebody out there that cares about you. You don't never have to be a victim. You can always be that survivor. Just remember that the Purple Butterfly House is here for you, and we will do anything through counseling, through love, through understanding, even if you just need to talk. Just give us a call and we'll be there. We could also get you a counselor to help. But remember this, don't be a victim, be that survivor.
All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, sweetie, for taking some time to talk to us tonight. I'm sure that somebody got something out of this show. There's no way you couldn't. If you need the help of the Purple Butterfly House, I put the contact information in the chat and it'll be posted along with the show once I post it on the page. So make sure you go back and watch it. Again, if it's, if you're in a situation where it might be unsafe, hit that escape button, get off that page. And then when you get a chance, then come back later and get the information. There's more information also at domesticpeace.com where you can get the exit plan, and you can also find out where not only this shelter is, but other shelters around the state if you need them. So again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. The comments I will answer y'all once we get signed off. I appreciate you all tuning in every week for another good show, another great guest. Hope the information was good. Hope you got something. Hope it'll help somebody. And as always, I will see y'all again next Tuesday with another awesome guest for some more awesome information in the latest Sound to Wonder Low. Thanks again, and y'all have a good rest of the night. Bye bye.